Anyway, what is this? Limited time only. Lease your PS5 for $10 a month? Oh my god, eat the bugs! Eat the bugs! You will own nothing and be happy! Yes!
Every day we inch closer and closer to the bleak future where nobody owns
my PS5,
anything.
yep.
Even the idea of ownership is looking like a foreign concept of a long-forgotten age. As
if billionaires, sorry, not millionaires, if billionaires could find a way for them to like rent out oxygen to you, they fucking would. I fucking hate corpos.
Every corporate vampire zombie husk worm person is.
You think like Resident Evil is like a story? It's like fake. It's fiction. It's not. That's what would happen if they had the ability. Canned air? No. Like, you need air to survive. If they could put you in a vat of, like, water. So, like, imagine, you wake up in the morning, and then all of a sudden everything is underwater, but everything's fine, and you can still go to work, unfortunately. But then, like, the corpos are like, okay, so you have to lease, like, air to survive for $15 a day. They would fucking let that happen. 100%. They would. Like some sort of tax or, like anything like that. They would totally do that.
Scrambling to try and shove this idea down your throat that you will be happier owning nothing. You will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
I know I've yapped about this a lot over the last 2 or 3 years, but that's because it's been accelerating at such an alarming pace. Yep. Look at this newest development here. You can now lease a PlayStation 5. Zoinks! Yes! Certified turbo Zoinks moment if I've ever seen one. This is all fart, no poop. This shit is fucking foul. You have a plethora of really enticing options here to choose from €10 a month up to $7.
Wouldn't be a problem if people didn't support it. I know, little chatter. I know. You're typing it, and it's so true because there's for every, like, 10 people in my chat that fucking say, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not a retard, there's, like, at least 20 retards that would absolutely do it. That's the bummer about this whole thing, is that, like, people will unironically be like, oh, wow, that's awesome.
17, depending on the model and I guess the duration of the lease. This is fucking outlandish. This is some hogwash. I cannot believe that we are just seeing this now,
it's
just
disgusting.
Out in the open, out in the
Genuinely.
wild,
Just
unashamedly.
Foul.
Now, I was reading through things, and it seems like 36-month contract is what you would sign for this agreement here, and you don't ever own it. It doesn't seem like you pay for X amount of time, X amount of dollars, in this case, like 10 clams, until eventually you pay it off and it's yours. That doesn't seem to happen.
No.
I don't know this company.
You are unironically better off, like, fucking buying it on credit, because at least eventually you might even own it. Like, this just, you're so... Oh my god, they don't teach financial responsibility and education. Like, they don't teach finance in primary schools and middle schools and high schools on fucking purpose. I swear to god, this is like this might be a conspiracy theory. You can call me crazy. I do truly believe that they do that on purpose. Cause I got taught that shit at an early age by my parents. Like, cause, you know, like, my parents are educated, so they know, and, like, then they pass on the knowledge. But then people who are unfortunate, maybe they aren't educated, or their parents aren't, then they just, you know, just keep the cycle going. Yeah.
But I was looking into them, and it seems like they do this for a lot of tech, and what happens is, when you're done with the contract, you send it back.
What is Sony gonna do, break my legs? Oh no! I didn't send the PS5 back! What are you gonna do, call the police?
So you end up just paying significantly more overtime. It also doesn't even make a mention of PS Plus being included, so presumably if you want to have the PS Plus service, which I imagine most people would want if they're buying a console.
I would fill it with cheese out of spite. I would piss and shit in it. and then like fucking send it back to them. No, I would take all the hardware out. Hold on. I would take all the hardware out and then have the plastic box like fucking like in there, right? And it's like on the outside, and then you take a bunch of like cow shit and shove it in there.
So in the first place, you're then paying even more on top of that over a long period of time and never actually even own the motherfucker in the first place.
Yep.
And then they just ask you to like send it back politely. What an incredible deal.
Like,
if you've
what?
been hit in the head with a sledgehammer, I suppose. But I think a lot of people might just see, oh, as low as 10 a month.
Whoa.
Jiminy Christmas, that's a great deal. That's very
Why
cheap.
don't you just save the money for like fucking a couple of months? Like the instant gratification is wild to me.
That's better than just saving up and buying it.
Yeah, you could.
I haven't seen too many people defending it, but I have seen a few brainless goob-soomers that are always latching on to terrible fucking business practices and defending them as if it's their fucking job to do so, fighting PR battles for these billion-dollar megacorps.
I will never understand that. Sucking corporate dick for free is insane. Like, okay, you're like a PR employer, like, oh, you manage the Twitter account, of course you have to defend them. There's people who suck dick for free. Just think about that. They do it for free.
For no reason, no gain, aside from just being treated like a fleshlight by these companies. So there definitely has been some chirping here from these addicts that must consume the goob at all times, no matter what, so they're defending this to a certain extent, but most people are rightfully pushing back on this, calling out how outrageous it is. It's a bunch of horseradish. This is
totally
not good, and it's a symptom of the direction most of the world is going, where the weasels at the top of the food chain are trying to get you comfy with the idea that you don't own shit. You will own nothing and be happy. You don't question it. Just endlessly subscribe.
Yep.
Rent, lease, subscribe,
and people are doing
subscribe. You have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just suckling on there.
I mean, ultimately, that's kind of what you do with renting. Like, you can get kicked out at any time they want, within reason. Some state laws are bad, like they don't support the tenant at all. Yeah, it's techno-feudalism. Like, you're just giving money and you don't own anything.
Eat forever. And the beauty in the case of the PS5 here, once you're done suckling, you've had your fill of milk, you have to spit it all back up. You no longer even get to keep the console you've been paying for 36 fucking months. You have to send it back. And, like, imagine that you're late on sending it back, by the way, and fucking Raylo sicks the Pinkertons on you to repo your PS5 from the lease. It's so ridiculous, man. And the fact that there's anyone that thinks that this is a good idea really shocks me. I understand that renting consoles, renting TVs, renting from all kinds of different places has been a thing for a while, and a variety of different things. It's just that now every company is up in your face and just blatantly obvious about their new push to get everyone comfortable switching to the lease everything model, you will own nothing and be happy model. And in the case of Raylo, with the very...
There's a difference, though. If you go to Blockbuster, like, you get the enjoyment of picking out what you want, or at least you used to. You could pick out a game. Maybe you were from a poorer family that couldn't afford a $60 game, which was $60 was a lot of fucking money back in, like, 2010. You would rent the game, and you would play it, and then maybe you would even buy the game. These people are like, oh, yeah? You want to rent it? Yeah, go fuck yourself. You send it back when you don't make the payments. Do you know how many people also stole, like, from Blockbuster and shit? Like, to rent out stuff? Yeah.
Limited research I've done on them, it seems like they primarily target low-income households, and in the case of the PlayStation...
What a surprise.
5, it seems like the goal is to get these families spending money that they ordinarily wouldn't be on a PlayStation 5. A low-income household probably isn't super gung-ho and comfortable dropping hundreds of dollars on a PlayStation 5. But Raylo having an offering as low as 10 doubloons a month, well, now all of a sudden maybe that family does start spending. And they're
But you could get a credit card, which I don't support. I fucking hate credit card companies and all that shit. But it would be more feasible for you to pay off the credit card, get $10 a month, and then eventually you'll pay off the PS5 and you get to keep it.
it on something
You're
that
so
they ordinarily
dumb.
wouldn't be purchasing, and Raylo's getting a piece of that pie now. So Raylo's getting paid $10 a month from this family, and at the end of the 36-month contract, that family is paid pretty close to what the normal retail cost is for the device, except now they have nothing to show for it because they have to send the device back to Raylo, who then gets to repeat this process, rinse and repeat. Meanwhile, the family that is now paid $10 a month over the course of this contract gets fucking squat. It's a terrible
and then they break
deal.
their
And
legs
it's a smart business move from Raylo, because what they are doing is they are incentivizing the low-income households that they're, what I believe, targeting on purpose.
It's contracted. You can't quit after 1 month. What if you just can't make payments? What does Sony do? Do they like have a robot clanker that pops out and breaks your legs and then runs off with the PS5?
To start spending on things that ordinarily they wouldn't be purchasing, and Raylo gets to facilitate that and make money off of that. And then that family gets nothing. They end up with nothing. They're just out a bunch of money over the course of those months. And now another thing I saw a lot of people bringing up, I guess is part of like a strategy, is like, you know, you rent the PlayStation 5 right before GTA 6 drops, and you only rent it for like a month at $10, and then cancel the lease there and send it back. So you get to play through the game that you're interested in on a PlayStation 5 for $10. I don't know if that's permissible by the Raylo contract. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. It seems like you can cancel it at any time, so I'm guessing it is. So I guess if
there's nothing wrong with renting. Like, I rented, like my brother rented games for his PS3 and his PS2. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because he would play a game and be like, this game sucks. It was a waste of like $5 or whatever. But at least you got to play the game and try it out before you gave it back. Like, I don't know. It's so dumb. Like,
someone that wants to just play a PlayStation 5 for like a day, a month, 2 months, 3 months,
can't.
And
you
then
need to be
instantly
locked
cancel
in.
it. So I guess in that case, you do end up saving a lot of money if you're someone who only wants to play the PlayStation 5 for a very brief period of time. You could do that strategy if it's allowed in their contract. I don't know if it is or not. Maybe they'll get the Pinkertons back on the horn for you or something. Couldn't tell you. But I feel like the norm with consoles is you get a console under the idea that you will own it long term.
Yes.
Because presumably there's more games coming out over time that you might have an interest in. Thus, you would need the console to play them. So it'd be pretty silly to keep renting the PlayStation 5 every time a new game comes out. Then it would end up costing you money in the long term. But if you're someone that just wants to play a PlayStation for like a month or two, then I guess that strategy would make sense. I just don't think that's the...
But they're doing contracts. That's the issue. Yeah, they don't want your like $20. They want to lock you in a contract for like X amount of time.
The typical procedure. Most people, when they move to get a console...
To be fair, is enough of the PS5 to play for more than a month.
They're probably looking to have it very long term and actually own it.
Good one.
Which this does not allow
I wish
you
I
to
thought
do.
of that one.
I'm not just going to regurgitate everything I've said across countless videos now about this whole subscription-based economy and this whole you will own nothing and be happy territory we've entered across the board. I think as it's beaten time and time again by these corporations, people will just come to accept it, and something like leasing a PlayStation 5 will no longer be like a weird, wacky, wild thing that's outrageous. People will just accept it as totally standard business practice.
Yeah, that's what's the issue with it, too.
Not too long ago, Klarna was advertising how you can put fucking burritos on Klarna.
If you go to DoorDash, I think you can finance through PayPal, I believe. If you DoorDash chicken nuggets to your house, you can pay with PayPal, and then PayPal will pop up and ask, hey, do you want to pay with this with like $5 right now and then do monthly installments? OF on Klarna. Well, that turned out to be fake, but like that was still really funny to think about. Yeah, paying Wendy's 4 for 4. Yeah, financing your fucking Pizza Hut pizza.
You can lease burritos, and now you can lease your goddamn PlayStation.
Leasing your food is so feudalistic. Oh my god.
Soon to be everything else in your life. The idea of ownership dying. Not just dying, being murdered, executed in cold blood, defiled, the corpse being dragged through the streets, paraded, mutilated, and taking the place of ownership becomes the idea, imagination of having something that's yours when it's not and never will be. And I shudder to picture that future where you're the weirdo for not wanting to lease your fucking Five Guys burger. People will look at you like some kind of circus freak
idiot.
Because you want to.
You want your big arch burger? You're not financing it? Ugh, what an idiot. Anyone who rents anything doesn't get anything in the end? Yeah, that's why it sucks. Renting is dumb. I've always hated renting, period. I'm sorry. I've always thought that the fundamental of like borrowing money or giving someone money and then not getting anything out of it in the end is fucking dumb. I hate that. I've always hated that system. The only thing that I could justify it for is like renting a game, because you can still justify and say, hey, I played this game for like an hour or 2 hours or like a day or whatever, and then I want to buy the game because I got to try it out. It's like renting a car and seeing if you like it. I think that's like the logic. But when it's like food or it's like your PlayStation, where like you are buying a console or a computer and you want to keep that forever, like you know what you're getting. Like, what are we doing?
Actually, like, own something. Get a load of this guy. This geriatric fossil tried to buy a PlayStation 7 instead of just putting it on fucking Klarna. And this push that the whole world has made to everything going subscription based and like lease instead of
renting equipment. Like, renting equipment. I don't know. You want to build like a deck or something and you need a bulldozer. Like, there's situational, obviously this is going into the fucking semantics and it's not really relevant to the conversation, but like, some people don't fucking understand why you're fucking pissed about it, and they're like, I just rent but pay. Oh my god, I just rent everything and that's fine.
Rent instead of buy, it's trash. Which is why I've become such like a big advocate for the consumer rights wiki. This is something that I've only recently become aware of, but this seems like a truly valuable service, which is just a platform that solely aims to educate consumers on anti-consumer practices that are being integrated into products. Seems like a very simple mission to just give you as much information as possible about what a lot of these shady companies are doing with their services and their products. So I really do appreciate what's been going on over there. I'll put a link to it in the description if anyone's curious about it or want to check anything out there. This is not like a sponsored segment or anything. I want to make that clear. I have just talked about this a lot and only recently had this put on my radar as something that's aiming to help in the fight.
And what irks me the most is that this sets a precedent of what they can get away with. They're going to keep pushing more and more and more. Why do you think, like, PayPal and Klarna gets away with what it does? It's because it works. People unironically finance their chicken nuggets, and now they're indebted to them, and they have to pay 20% interest on their fucking 20-piece meal over 5 years. I've always been a huge, like, anti-credit, anti-debt person, because it's like, what, you don't, I hate the system. I really do. I'm not gonna get into it, but, like, fuck me, dude.
Against this,
so bad.
You will own nothing and be happy future. So I've been all for it, and just something I wanted to mention here. It is not sponsored or anything like that. Anyway, just another video yapping about this topic. I hope people continue to reject the notion of you will own nothing and be happy. It should not be real. Something that people are just okay with.
Yes.
Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
See ya. Thanks, Charlie. That was awesome. That made me hate everyone even more. Well, by everyone, I mean corpos.